So the day begins, 4 a.m., wake up call. I get my stuff together, I make my way over to transition. It's a bit of a walk. Luckily, I had my Iron brother Sean with me to make logistics a little bit easier, greatly appreciated.
Now I do want to give a shout out to my Iron brother Ryan as well. He did make that journey back in 2022. Unfortunately, that was the year I wasn't able to finish.
Everything gets set up in the transition, then we got a mile walk over to the swim start. Swim start's okay. Sit around for a little bit, and before you know it, I'm in the water and I'm swimming. I did get around the course, albeit a lot slower than my typical. It was closer to an hour and 28 minutes, I think. My typical is hour 16 minutes or so, at least when I'm fit. As a fit fat man that I've been racing lately, it's been closer to the low 120s. So we get out of the swim. The transition from swim to bike is pretty long. Now I get to my bike and I notice, luckily I noticed, and I actually checked, and guess what? The back tire was flat, completely flat. Luckily, the bike mechanics are right at the bike out portion of the transition, and they were really quick to fix and replace the tube for me, all good. I was so grateful. So I get out on the course. For about an hour, you're going this way and that way before you get to the Hardy toll road. So for the first segment in my head, I segmented the first hour or so of just kind of like settling in. And hour one passes, and guess what? We're on the Hardy tollway. And right when you get on the Hardy tollway, it's a headwind. So I knew right away I had to think, stay mentally tough. This is the race. This is where you become an Ironman, right here and now for these 2 loops. But specifically the out portion with the headwind. On the way back, it's gonna be cake. You know, the wind's gonna be on your back, gonna be fun. So the first loop begins. I'm out there in arrow position, very cognizant to make sure I'm not too close to another cyclist in front of me, because there are a lot of course officials going zipping up and down the highway there to make sure that people are playing by the rules. There were a couple pelotons, big groups of cyclists together that were moving up the course that first lap. And they caught me at one point. Homie, don't play that. I'm not about to get all close to other people cycling. I found myself getting swallowed up by this peloton. I let them go ahead. Not long after, I see a major wreck. I don't know if it was the peloton group, but there were at least 5, 6 or more bikes and ambulances, the whole thing, all clumped together, all crashed. Not a good time for those folks. I hope they're okay. So you get to the turnaround portion, and guess what? Now the wind's at your back. I felt amazing coming back on that loop. It felt like I was barely working. And I was going like 30 miles per hour probably the entire way back. So I really just tried to conserve energy that whole way back. We're talking about 20 miles out, 20 miles back. So we get to the second turnaround, start of loop 2 on the Hardy tollway. Loop 2 is really the part where you have to stay mentally focused, and that's exactly what I did. I kept reminding myself, this is it. This is the final true test of the day. Worst case scenario, you can walk the marathon sort of thing. Loop 2 into the headwind is the most difficult part of the day for sure, mentally and physically. And you gotta be smart, because you don't wanna burn all your matches. You definitely want to make sure you have a few left for that run portion. As soon as that turned around, that wind was at my back till the rest of the way to the bike finish. And for me, I just let myself coast in with that wind, a huge smile on my face, knowing that the bike was mostly done, even though there was about 30 miles left or so. And I get to the run. Coming off the bike, I'm feeling pretty good. I have a little pep in my step. I mean, pep is probably not the right word, but I'm moving, I'm actually jogging, I'm not walking. I'm doing a run walk, 3-minute run, 1-minute walk, and I'm sticking to it. And so this whole run course is a 3-loop course. In the back of my head, I'm thinking it was a 4-loop course. I thought the same thing the first time I attempted this course, which was defeating in my head at that time. So I get through the first loop, I'm sitting there doing run walk. As I'm doing this, I'm feeling, my stomach is not happy with me. And this has been a common issue with me the past number of races. I gotta re-dial in my race diet and figure out, why am I keep getting these GI issues? I'm just in a position where I just don't want to eat or drink anything typically, except for the Nutty Buddies. The Nutty Buddies were freaking amazing. Anyway, first loop, I'm still doing the 3 minutes run, 1 minute walk. I get around to the fun part, the Hippie Hollow section. It's amazing. You got all these former triathletes, some of them former pros, and they've got this huge thing that you run under, all these lights, all this music. And right before the Hippie Hollow section, I see the man, Tim O'Donnell. And he says, oh, hey, Hulkamania, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, brother. Now, for those of you who don't know who Tim O'Donnell is, he is a pro. His wife, also a legend, Marinda Carfrey. The two of them are a power couple in the Ironman world. They are also running a coaching group called the Salty Bears. Now, this is not a paid advertisement. I'm just recommending them based on what I know of these folks and what they've done in the Ironman. They're talking about champions here. Now they can be your coach and the group of people that they're working with at TriDot. So after Hippie Hollow, you're feeling all energetic. You're saying, yep, I got this all day long. Run, walk to the finish line. And then the first loop is done and I ain't running anymore. I'm feeling it. My stomach is queasy. I can't take anything in, no nutrition. And I'm thinking to myself, I got nothing, no more matches to burn. I end up walking into the final 2 laps because that's what I have to do. So as I'm coming up to the finish line, I'm still walking. I got nothing left. I see my brother a little bit ahead. I get around, there's a little turn point. I look around because this veteran move here, you look around before you go down the finishing chute to make sure nobody else is around you. As soon as I cross the finish line, I'm seeing people that I've been chatting with through the week giving me a, oh yeah, brother. I even see Tim O'Donnell again and get to chat him up right after. I'm a little loopy at the time, but you know, I got to chat with him. Just so cool. What a cool experience. I'm just so grateful and so happy that even though I'm still a fit fat man, I'm able to have enough mobility to get this done. And shortly after talking with Tim O'Donnell, you see my brother, Iron Brother Sean. We take a few photos, go over to the athlete area where they have food and everything. I want no food whatsoever. And I just hobble back to the hotel. I really wish I would have gone to the medical tent and let them know like I haven't been able to keep anything down and some things have been coming up. I forgot to mention that part. That was a dumb move, not a veteran move, a rookie move there. I got up middle of the night and I was feeling really bad. I wasn't sure I thought we had to call the ambulance. I was having trouble breathing. I definitely was scared. The rest of the night, I just kept waking up a little bit, drink a little bit more water, a little bit at a time. And finally, glorious victory is achieved. A journey that started in the fall of 2019 and ends in the spring of 2024. Only 4 more Ironmans to complete.